This is a true crime discussions channel. We speculate. This is all just speculation. Because it's true crime, is for mature audiences only. There will be no children allowed, no exceptions. Everything on this channel falls under fair use. Please remember to like, comment, subscribe, and share. It's free. Good morning, everybody. Today is going to be interesting. We are going to pause the interviews that we're going over in chronological order to go over a few other things. We're going to talk about Stephen's Reddit post and the comments he made. I already pulled that up. We're going to talk about Hidden True Crimes interview with the parents. And an important part in there, and we're going to look at some of the original affidavit, specifically because it talks about how old Maddie would have been when everything started. I've tried to pull up that affidavit and I can't find the actual affidavit anymore. I could probably do some more research into it. I was really busy last night trying to get everything done, but I do have enough of it for us to understand what's going on. So we will start. Let me pull up Hidden True Crime. Hold on a minute. Jenny my wonderful mod gave me the minute mark that we can go to. I haven't pulled it up yet. I know it's not on the screen. I'm going to pull it up in just a second. I would like to ask you to please subscribe to this channel. Since she gave me the minute marker that, minute marker that we're supposed to be at, I'm not going to play the whole interview. I'm going to ask that you please go subscribe to her channel so that you can watch the entire interview that way. Where is it? There it is. Okay, give me just 1 second and I will get it on the screen. Okay. What a commercial. Okay, so let me get it to the minute mark that we need to be at. Again, this is Hidden True Crime. Her logo is right here. I have watched a few of her interviews. She seems really good. And again, I would ask that you please go subscribe to her channel and give her a like and comment for all of her hard work she did with this interview. As you can see, I'm at 38 minutes and the interview has already started. We are going to an hour and 29 minutes. So again, if you would like to see the whole interview, please go ahead and give her a comment, a like, and a subscribe and watch her interview. We'll start it at 128.
Things that she did are all wiped clean. She never has to worry about it again.
Did they give her complete immunity?
Conditional.
Well, I think it's
So remember, his father, this man right here, was a police officer at one point, and that's going to be his mother. I didn't know that this interview was out here until my wonderful mod Jenny told me about it yesterday. And I do plan on watching the whole interview. But again, if you want to see it, please go give her a like and subscribe and check it out on her channel if you want to see the entire thing. We're looking for something really important that the parents say towards the end.
I forgot what they call it. Derivative? No.
Derivative immunity. Yeah. Which essentially means that at this point in time, she cannot be charged with that interview that she gave or what she shares with police. But if there's additional evidence of a crime that shows up, she could still be charged for.
Yeah.
Well, ask yourself the big question, the really big question out there. All of that stuff on the computer, all of that stuff on his phone, all of the money that was coming in by the handfuls and the way they were spending it. where did it come from? And could she, I mean, obviously she also participated in spending the money. So do you think she was at all culpable?
We don't know that.
Talking away again. That is a really great point, and I've asked that question before. I also need to add, even though it's in my intro, this is fair use. But I wondered that myself because the parents talked about in their interrogation with the police how Stephan would have money and he would say, "Oh, I just have it saved up." Now, we do know that he was stealing money from his parents from their closet, but he was buying toys and all kinds of things. To tickle his fancy. And a lot of people have wondered since the beginning if he was selling some of those images. And if he is into that kind of things and all the things he was doing to Madeline, it's not a far stretch to think that he would sell some of those images or trade some of those images with the other people on the internet that do stuff like that. And we know that that happens because the police talk about busting people that way. And a lot of times in those kind of chat rooms, in order to get images, you have to also provide images. That's like a thing to, like, so if I get in trouble, you get in trouble. And in the beginning, a possible ring was discussed, not among police, just among people speculating. But that could also be true too. Even if it wasn't like a physical ring where they met, it could be an online ring where they're selling images, which is really sad.
Don't
But-
know.
But
Don't know.
we're very suspicious that
Sorry, I'm just going to turn on closed captioning real quick.
there was some sort of enterprise going on, and of course, the police won't tell us anything about that. That was one conversation or question I had with them, and it almost sounded like they acknowledged Stephan and eliminated Jen, but something definitely was going on, and I haven't been able to figure that out. But I feel there's something else out there. There's a bigger web, possibly.
As far as I know, I mean, that in all the images they have, there's not a single image that I'm aware of where Jen is in it.
From what I've read, everything is perpetrated by Stephan.
Right. I think there's definitely a lot of interest in Jen's potential role, and it's certainly something we've raised on our channel in terms of what did she know and what was her involvement. And right now, my presumption is that while she may not have been the best mother, there's not sufficient evidence to really charge her with any crimes at the moment or to implicate her, in any of the illegal proceedings that we know of. And that's not to say that can't change.
Yeah.
This Dr. John, if I'm not mistaken, I think he's a psychiatrist, but I would ask that you also give him a like and subscribe when you go check out the video. Jenny has seen this video, and she said everything before this part is basically about how Stephan was brought up. It's probably going to give some insight into his personality, his demeanor, and some of the probably weird things he did or things that kind of made you go, and his upbringing.
So at this point, we, I guess the next step is the trial, unless, like I said, another shoe drops. But we're not expecting anything else. Of course, we haven't expected any of this either. So, we just sit and wait for the next wave of information, if there is anything. I still think it's an open investigation to some degree, but to what extent, I don't know.
I would like to say something,
Please.
and that is that for all that I thought that their relationship was toxic, which I did, we loved Maddie. And I liked Jen. I didn't love Jen, but I liked her. And I feel great pain for her having lost this child and her family. I can't put that aside, that she has lost her child. And,
Thank
So for that, my heart goes out to her, and I say prayers for her. I say prayers for Maddie. I say prayers for Stephan.
Yeah, so much tragedy in all of this. It's just
This would have the same type of impact on me if I felt like Jen actually cared about Maddie. I think, in my opinion, it's kind of obvious to me that she cared much more for Stephan than she did for Madeline. So I question if her being gone, if she even looks at it that way, or if she looks at it like it's convenient now because she doesn't have a child. I mean, I'm sure she loved her in some aspect, but I think she was more of like a convenience, something she could use to get what she wanted, what she needed. And when she talks about, I can't deal with your emotions right now, I have to wonder if that's something that was told in that household to Madeline on a daily, weekly basis. Jen can't deal with Madeline's emotions or anybody else's emotions. She's having to deal with her emotions. And the fact that you're trying to raise a child is not even crossing your mind or being taken into consideration and trying to guide them and help them understand the feelings that they're having. No, we're not going to deal with that. I can't deal with that. I can't deal with your emotions, only my emotions. Me, my, what I want, what I need.
What started out as going to a birthday party has turned into an absolute nightmare. I wish I was able to prevent him from going, but it was Maddie's birthday, and
She
that was an
called and
occasion.
asked him to come.
So
She called and specifically asked him to come.
No, yeah.
You happen to live, we've talked about this, in the same city as the Laundries, the
Yeah.
Laundries, but Brian Laundrie's parents.
Yeah.
And people have compared you to them. And I want to point out something that I think is very clear from the FOIA documents, and that is that you've continuously cooperated with police. And I want to point that out, and thank you for that. And while your voices have sometimes shifted through the process, because as you've stated, you learned things along with the public, you were processing things. I know that since we've been talking to you, and admittedly we have talked to you before this interview, you share different views, and we've watched you sort of progress with the truth and the information that has come out there, just as we have, just as everyone has. And I want to point that out and acknowledge that for you. And see that you're changing your views and you're shifting your views and you're open.
My mama Jen brought up a very good point, and I'm going to highlight that. She says also, we do not condone any harassment to the parents. Their son is garbage on his own. I could not have said it better. Thank you so much for putting that out there.
You also shared with us something that, I can't even fathom. As you learned about things slowly and were, again, processing and taking this in, and you handed over evidence to police. Here you go. Here's this, here's this hard drive. Take whatever you want. You let them into your home. Police is what I mean.
They brought
And
our dogs in.
yeah.
I mean,
let her finish your thought.
okay.
No, go ahead. You can interrupt anytime. This is for us to listen to you.
Well, what's interesting, like I said, that Wednesday back in February, while I'm waiting to talk to the police, I'm not even sure they're even going to talk to me. The opening conversation was, were you aware that Stephan was in Northport? What exit do you live off of? Do you know that Stephan was in Northport? I go, what? You're serious? I just drove the middle of the night, tucked him into a hotel room. I went to bed, and within an hour, he's out of there. He actually runs to St. Cloud, then he goes to Northport. And I said, you're kidding me. Of course, I learned hours later when Jen called me, I go, do you know where Stephan is? I go, no. What do you mean, where is Stephan? He isn't with you? But
the word he just chose there, I tucked him into his hotel room. It still shows that the parents are looking at him as a child still, and this man very much was man-child. What parents of a 36-year-old do you know of that are going to say that I tucked him into his hotel room? My mom wouldn't say that about me. She would say I said goodnight to her and she went in her hotel room. That stands out to me. Sorry if you hear chewing. My rabbit is chewing on a box.
But, I asked him, I said, hey, look, there's a desktop computer at home. Maybe you guys should come get it. He said, okay, we'll make arrangements to do that. Only to find out that the hard drive was removed from it. I know it was there Sunday morning when he left, because I told the police that after I found that out. So he purposely removed that hard drive. Why? Well, again, as I explained to the police,
let's hear that one more time. Oh my
very
God.
forthcoming. That Saturday evening, he was having some sort of anxiety panic.
Be good. Listen to this again.
To your home. Police is what I mean.
Wow.
Our dog's in.
Yeah.
Listen to this.
I mean,
Let her finish your thought.
okay.
No, go ahead. You can interrupt anytime. This is for us to listen to you.
Well, what's interesting, like I said, that Wednesday back in February, while I'm waiting to talk to the police, not even sure they're even going to talk to me. The opening conversation was, were you aware that Stephan was in Northport? What exit do you live off of? Do you know that Stephan was in Northport? I go, what? You're serious? I just drove the middle of the night, tucked him into a hotel room. I went to bed, and within an hour, he's out of there. He actually runs to St. Cloud, then he goes to Northport. And I said, you're kidding me. Of course, I learned hours later when Jen called me, I go, do you know where Stephan is? I go, no. What do you mean, where's Stephan? He isn't with you? I asked him, I said, hey, look, there's a desktop computer at home. Maybe you guys should come get it. He said, okay, we'll make arrangements to do that. Only to find out that the hard drive was removed from it. I know it was there Sunday morning when he left, because I told the police that after I found that out. So he purposely removed that hard drive. Why? Well, again, as I explained to the police, very forthcoming, that Saturday evening, he was having some sort of anxiety panic attack, and I've never, ever seen this expression on his face. Never. And something he had some sort of information and had no idea what it was, but he was really panicked. And then to find out that this hard drive was removed. So, we're cleaning out his room a few weeks later, come across this USB drive, two of them, as a matter of fact. I put one in both of them computer, one had nothing, just like the evidence shows. The other one, I just hovered.
I have to pause because of fair use, but why, what's on this hard drive? I mean, speculation, but I'm pretty sure that it was CSA images. And I'm trying to figure out if he said that he removed the hard drive and then it was when he was freaking out, but I don't think so. I think he drove back to Northport from the hotel to remove that hard drive. I wonder if the police got that hard drive. And in all the interrogations that we have, they don't talk about the hard drive and him removing that hard drive. The parents do talk about the computer, but I don't remember hearing that at all. And, if he's got on his hard drive, like the websites he's going to, the chat rooms he's going in, and transferring images and sharing images with these people, a lot of time wealthy elites, he might have thought, if it got found that he would get killed or something. I don't know. Or either, the simplest explanation is he's just trying to get rid of everything because he deleted all the images off of his phone. So, of course, if they're on his hard drive, he's going to try to delete them off of that too. Jen says maybe it was put in the storage room. He was probably having an anxiety attack because his world was coming down. That's a good point too. Maybe it was put in the storage unit. I think he probably would have tried to destroy it. I don't know. I'd love to know where it's at. But they're still talking. I'm going to back it up just a little bit so we can hear about these USB.
Covered my mouse over the fields, didn't see any image because, again, you can't unsee what you see.
It's just file names, just file.
I explained to the police, very forthcoming, that Saturday evening, he was having some sort of anxiety panic attack, and I've never ever seen this expression on his face. Never. And something he had some sort of information and had no idea what it was, but he was really panicked. And then to find out that this hard drive was removed. So, we're cleaning out his room a few weeks later, come across this USB drive, 2 of them, as a matter of fact. I put one in both of them computer, one had nothing, just like the evidence shows. The other one, I just hovered my mouse over the fields, didn't see any image because, again, you can't unsee what you see.
It's just file names, just file names.
File names, and just from the description, I said, this is not good. And I texted the detective and told him that I had some evidence to turn over to him. It took them 3 weeks to come collect it. Matter of fact, I had to remind them I had this and that it was sitting here waiting for them to come collect. And then to learn later in July, when I had a conversation with them before this information was dumped out, that there were 35,000 images on that USB drive. And I couldn't believe it. That's
35,000, not 3,500, 35,000 images. Like, what are you doing? Look, he's a sick man, you know what I mean? But you've got 35,000 images. In my opinion, he's not taking that many pictures for his personal use. He's taking those to sell. That's the only thing that makes sense for having 35,000. Like, we can all agree that this man is a sick, perverted monster. But if he was just using it for personal use, maybe over the time period of between 8 years old and 13 years old, maybe 3,000 to 4,000. This is 35,000 images. Like, I don't know what else to think other than he's selling them, because you're going to be taking, he would be taking more pictures, different angles, different things, all the different sick, twisted things he was doing to get different pictures, to sell different pictures and get money for those pictures. I'm going to put my banner up about this is all speculation and in my opinion, but I don't know what else makes sense for having that many pictures.
Unbelievable. I mean, he had to get access to a data dump of some sort, but it's just unbelievable. And why did he have possession of something like that? But every time we found evidence, I immediately notified the police. I mean,
we didn't want it in the house. It was toxic.
Yeah, didn't want it in the house, but at the same time, we didn't want any appearances of being complicit and trying to cover anything up. We were, at this point, we weren't interested, and we wanted the truth out there.
Yeah, I remember you sharing that, discovering that 30 over, I just can't even imagine how many images, and learning, right, that Stephan had this in his possession. And I can only imagine.
I didn't even know I don't know how big that drive was, but I didn't imagine that you could hold 35,000 images on it, Well, I guess they can hold gigabytes of stuff, so I guess they can, but it's just hard to believe it.
I feel sorry for the person who went through it and looked at every single image.
And the detectives did. Yep.
I mean, how do they unsee that stuff? How do they even? I feel like I need to give prayers for them. They really, that had to have been so hard. So hard. And people who said that he should have thrown Maddie in a lake and let the alligators eat her, or throw in the woods and let bears eat her, or whatever.
What?
I don't think that he did that. I think he was careful.
Oh, I guess people speculating on what happened to Maddie and where she was at. I was like, why are people saying that? What the crap?
And placing her where she would be found quickly. I think somewhere deep down inside, he did not want her out there very long.
You know, I went to bed, and Debbie went to bed that Monday night when the supposed disappearance happened, and Stephan describing trafficking, what have you. I went to bed thinking the worst, that she's in a shipping container, you know, crammed full of other kids and going to be deprived of food and water and access to the bathroom for days on end and what have you. That was the impression I was left with Monday evening, and then carried over into Tuesday, and even later into that night, and not discovering until much later that it was all made up and that there was something more serious involved. I mean, really ticked me off.
Not only that, but it caused us high anxiety, which we don't need in our condition. And that was what I was doing out there, screaming at God. Why? Why would you do this? I am a Christian. I don't know that I'm a great Christian, but I am a Christian, and I do love people. I just don't understand them all the time. But I do have empathy for them, and I do, even these people who have sent me some ugly things.
That's horrible that she's dealing with that. I have to pause it for fair use. We were, my family and I have church in our house, and we were talking about why God makes people have hard times. And it talks about in the Bible that it's done to strengthen you, to make you stronger. Now, I don't know how this situation would have made them any stronger, his parents having to deal with this. I don't think it's fair at all. I think there was some kind of demon in Stephan that, my goodness. But I don't know. I just thought I should talk about that. If anybody's going through a hard time, just remember it'll pass.
I know it's probably hard for anybody to believe that I would actually say prayers to these people, but I think something triggered them, maybe something in their background, in their life that was similar. And I feel so bad for them that they see these things and then they relive it. I can't imagine it. I know what it feels like to feel helpless.
Do you feel that, so setting aside Jen's responsibility, that's still unknown, right? We can speculate, as you said, we're speculating, we don't know. Do you feel, though, that Stephan manipulated Jen?
I think they manipulated each other.
I do too.
Yes. Yeah.
They manipulated. She was.
Based on his actions, that Monday morning, he certainly knew how to manipulate her. Going in to collect the dog, making sure she didn't come out of the bedroom. He's got Maddie up hours ahead of school. School didn't start till 9:38. And he's got her up at 7.
Right.
And he's going out the door at 7:30. What's he going to do for 2 hours? When you see this timeline of stuff, and he goes, "Oh my God!" But again, taking the steps necessary to preserve, his privacy or his actions, and going in and collecting the dog, taking the dog out. And, "Hey, Jen, you go back to bed." "Oh, okay, thanks, appreciate it." Definitely one.
I agree 100% with that. Definitely did that to keep her from getting up. But again, if this story is not true and Jen had something to do with it, is it all just a story that they elaborately planned out to make it look like Stephan was the one who did everything? And we have to question if that is a possibility because of Jen's reaction and the no emotion. I don't understand how you could have no emotion. Like, the only things I can come up with is you're complicit or involved, or you just really didn't care about your daughter and you saw her as competition. It's got to be one of the two, right?
Wanted to keep her where she was at.
It was underhanded,
Yeah.
sneaky.
Yeah.
Lauren, if it's, I pray to God that it was an accident, that he got mad and that it was an accident, because he
Sure.
had really gone that far.
Sure.
Because he did tell us that he put her, she went to bed, and that when he went out to walk around and blow off some steam, he came back and to check on her, and she was cold. He said he discovered her. Okay, so
Don't know if that's the truth.
yeah, that's the truth. Don't know if anything's the truth, but
It's what he told you.
Yeah.
yeah, it's just
Lips are moving. Don't know if it's the truth.
Right. It's just what he's relaying.
Yeah.
And I'm sure you do a lot right now to protect and process what happened. I guess, do you have anything else, John, to say when it comes to this, or could I?
Yeah, you and I, we've talked about this on previous shows, but I can come up with plenty of scenarios where it seems like a very logical explanation to say it's an accident. It at least as much as saying it's premeditated. So yeah, I don't think it's clear cut. I mean, Stephan knows.
Stephan knows.
Stephan knows. We don't.
Whether or not he's telling us, we don't know.
Yeah, whether he'll ever tell us the truth, who knows, right? But I presume if somebody's going to find out, it would be you two.
Yeah.
So, but
I don't think he wants to put himself in a bad light with us. I think he wants to preserve some sort of image of himself as being culpable, but not completely culpable.
Yeah, there's just no way for him to communicate with us without everybody knowing. You can't have face-to-face meetings. Everything's either text with the tablet or a phone call, and it's all monitored. So we'll never know.
But
go ahead.
Even when they are recording you, they still write things in their reports that are wrong. Can I assure you that I was never taken out of this house and taken to an emergency room by the police?
Oh.
Where's the bill? Where was the bracelet? I never left my house. I'm a diabetic. I hadn't been eating for over 24 hours.
Okay.
Right. I had a dizzy spell. They did bring in an EMT, check my blood pressure. It was a little low. They asked if I wanted to be transported anywhere, and I said no. I'm fine. I just need to eat. That's not in the report.
Exactly.
They said they even gave the name of a hospital they supposedly took me to, which I've never heard of before. So I don't know how that happens unless they confused two different actions that night and put me in one place and with somebody else. I don't know.
Well, the two of you are going through the unfathomable. Like, honest, I don't think I can't comprehend it while you're learning that a little girl that you love is missing, and then learning that your son is responsible. You two are also dealing with a lot of, I'll call it this, harassment and threats. While you're just trying to process your lives falling completely apart, or what you thought was your reality completely being turned upside down. Can you talk a little bit about that too? Because I just feel like in this true crime community, the way we cover crime is important, and we so often dehumanize the people we're discussing. And I just was wondering if you could share a little bit about what you two have been dealing with.
Well, like I said, there's not a day that doesn't go by that we don't think about Maddie, and certainly we wonder about Stephan, and we wonder if we'll ever know the reason how and why this came about. When did this start? How he got to this?
So I want to know as well, and I'm trying to pause for fair use. I want to know as well when this all started as far as Stephan. We'll see the affidavit in a few minutes to see when he started in on Maddie. But it was pretty much as soon as he got in the relationship with Jen. So again, we know that the relationship was never about Jen. It was always about Maddie. I'd like to know when all this stuff started happening with Stephan, because with that amount of pictures, like I said earlier, he had to be trading them. He had to be in chat rooms. He had to be have contacts with other sick individuals and be trading pictures and things. Are there other victims out there? Is going to be another question I have. And we'll get some insight onto some of these things when they go to court. I would assume that if there were other victims out there, they would come out and speak. But if it's a child, they might not talk about it until they're grown. I think, I don't know who else he dated, but I'm sure he's dated somebody else that had a child who unfortunately didn't know. Hopefully the mom picked up on something fishy and got him out of there. But I want to deep dive this trial as well, and I'm going to try to stream it on here whenever it happens, to the best of my ability. I really have a lot of questions, a lot. And I do appreciate his parents coming out and talking and giving us some more insight into him.
To this point, why he didn't feel the need to come to us and tell us that he had a problem?
That's not the question.
What's the question?
The question is how are we dealing with the harassment, and I'm the one that's getting the harassment.
Okay.
I'm getting the ugly text messages. I'm getting the ugly phone calls, the horrible, horrible descriptions of what they want done to my son, the horrible descriptions of what they want me to do to myself. They've suggested several ways I can kill myself. One woman was it was funny actually. She sent me.
Why do people feel the need to do this? Like, do you think that his parents had any idea of what was going on? Do you really think that are you going to go in your house and look at your child and say, maybe one day that child right there is going to be a murderer. That child right there is going to be a predator. Like, are you freaking serious? Why do people do that? I'll never understand. These people didn't know. Do you think if they did, they wouldn't have turned him in and tried to get him some kind of help or something? Lord, I hate that people contact these people. Let them deal with their traumas in peace. Goodness gracious.
Sent me a text and says, Deborah, there's a man in the woods. I'm sure that was supposed to scare me. Like there's somebody out there, taking going to take pot shot at me. Well, good luck. But because I'm from the South, I guess I have a wacky sense of humor, but I wanted to send her a text back that says, sweetheart, this is the South. There's always men in the woods. We don't know what they're doing. They're pissing, they're spitting, they're shooting. I don't know what they're doing, but they're in.
Look, let me tell you what, as being from the South myself, I can totally agree. Yeah, down here in the South, there's always somebody in the woods hunting some deer, peeing, spitting. There's always somebody in the woods. That's for sure.
In the woods. So if you thought you were scaring me, no.
But yeah, people trying to scare you. Wow.
Yes, we have people saying that they're going to come down here. We have people saying that what they would like to see happen to me. And then have graphic descriptions of what they want to see happen to Stephan. Male and females do this. It's not that. And they can get to us no matter where, because every time we do something like change our phone number, then they dox us again on YouTube and give them some new phone numbers. So, I mean, how many times do you have to change your phone number in your business cards?
Gosh.
What do we have to do? Do we have to live in self-confinement all the time? Afraid to even go to the grocery store because somebody might walk up to me in a parking lot and accost me? Is somebody following us as we go around and we don't know? Cars parked around. We don't know if somebody's hiding in them watching us. Chris walked out the other day and there was a person out front with a cell phone taking pictures of our house. So, said he was, what did he say he was?
He was taking some B-roll for somebody.
Where B-roll is, taking B-roll for a television show, I guess.
Yeah.
But
yeah, we're not the story. We're not the face of this. Like I said, we're just as shocked by all of this. And we know as much as the public knows, no more and no less, whatever's out there. And if we've missed something in some of these reports, well, again, as I said, we've seen enough evidence to convince ourselves that Stephan did this and was involved. We're not denying that.
I'll admit that I didn't believe it at first. I didn't. Now I do. And I'm not making excuses for him. But as for me, the more people screw with us and the more lies they say, the more angry I get at them. Because why? What gives them the right? They have no skin in the game. They don't know any of us. They don't know anything about us, but they can sit there and just hold court on these shows.
And that's sad. We as people that are not part of the family, not personally involved in this case, should not pass judgment on these people. Now we should pass judgment on Stephan, in my opinion, because we know about what he was doing and what was going on. Jennifer, I could say we should, but there is a possibility that she had no idea. I don't think it's very likely that she had no idea, but it's possible. We can speculate about it, and we can say that we, as blatantly obvious as it was, we think that there's something wrong with her if she didn't know. But like the parents and things and the roommates and all of that, people getting death threats and all of the horrible things that happen, people getting stalked and harassed, it's just not fair. Um, Put yourself in their position. If you were a parent and you find out a child that you loved and babied so much that they're 36 years old and still living in your house, and you're, quote, tucking them into their hotel room at night, when you guys were staying at a hotel, I mean, that was obviously their baby still. 36-year-old grown-ass monster, but their baby. And they're finding all this out, and they're getting stalked and harassed. Like, please let these people be in peace. They had no idea. I can guarantee you they had no idea.
Either by writing or by calling in and describe what they think we are and how we should be treated. Why? What does that do for them? And what does it do for us?
Right.
You got people who are brokenhearted and your life is falling apart and everybody's picking at you. Why? Why are people so mean? Why are they so vindictive? And why are they so ugly about it? I don't understand that. We don't do that to people. We wouldn't do it to somebody else. You think we live here where the Landrys are? You think we went and harassed the Landrys and said, why did you do this? Why did you help him get away? Why did you do that? Didn't you know what was going on?
The Landrys is in reference to the Gabby Petito case. If you haven't looked into that, you probably should. That's an interesting one. His parents actually, he came back and he had strangled her and had left her out in the desert. Now, I'm just recalling from what I heard a long time ago when that was happening. But if I'm not mistaken, his parents went on a hike with him in an area down there that they like to go to, some park, and he ended up taking his own life out there, and the parents basically, helped him do it. That's a hard one, because if I'm looking at it from my perspective and my child comes home and has done that, and it's like, I can either spend the rest of my life in prison, or I can go be in my life where I love to be at and remember the last place we were together or whatever. It's going to be a hard decision. Now, I know that eventually they would probably get out on parole, so I would be like, no, don't do that. But I don't blame the Laundries in that case. Because if you put yourself in that position, in that situation, and think about that being your child, in the options that he had, again, I don't blame the parents for what they did. I do hate that they covered up the crime and that the Petitos did not get justice. That part sucks. I wish the Petitos had been able to get justice. But again, if they put themselves in the Laundrie shoes and that was their son, you got to ask the question of what would you do? But that's the Laundrie case.
Going on? No, it's none of our business. Well, it's none of their business about us either. That's the whole thing.
Yeah.
But they're so attracted to it, and they're so inflamed by what they hear on the YouTube channels, and they're allowed just free reign. And somebody said that we put in a complaint against YouTube, and we never done anything like that. We believe in the First Amendment and the Second Amendment, is freedom of speech. But by the same choice or chance, you can't scream fire in a crowded room. That's against the law. Why would you turn somebody?
Freedom of speech does not mean defamation, just by the way.
Why would you paint a target on my back, on my husband's back? Why? What good does that do? You're not punishing the perpetrator. You're punishing people who had nothing to do with it and didn't know anything about it and are just as brokenhearted as anybody could be. Maybe more so because we actually knew these people and lived with them. These other people don't. They have no idea who we are.
Well, hopefully today will help with some clarification and some understanding of your story and your situation. And fear is a very potent toxin, right? You don't know how that toxin is going to affect people, but you're seeing it. Unfortunately, I think you're seeing it day to day.
Yeah.
And I can't imagine how difficult it must be to deal with just an unimaginable grief and at the same time to go through the harassment and all the things you're going through. That must be just a really difficult combination to deal with. So I feel for you guys.
You know, I sought help. I went to see a counselor, and I saw about 6 weeks. And then I finally, just on the last visit, I said, this isn't working out for us because you're not listening to me. You're falling asleep when I'm talking. Like, you know.
I hate that when you go see a counselor and then they're like falling asleep and things. I do want to hear the last bit of this so we can understand some of the emotional perspective and what they're going through. I think it's important for people to understand what they're going through as far as like harassing and what these families are put through after something like this happens. I will say, I remember that Bullhorn Betty, her crazy ass self, I think she was down there where the laundry were, if I'm not mistaken, screaming outside of their house like a banshee. And I don't think she's messed with the Stearns. So that should be taken into account too. Like, we shouldn't be doing things like that. What Bullhorn Betty does. And she's not even going and attacking them.
It gives me a bad taste in my mouth about counselors. You know, are you just nothing but a paycheck to them? And I went there for help because I am dealing with my own depression. So.
Yeah.
And I commend you for seeking help, whether or not this was the right counselor for you. It sounds like it is definitely not, but just to go and to seek that help is difficult, and I commend you for that.
Thank you.
I hope that we can find something better. I'm sorry.
I wish I could find somebody that acted like they cared, really, and maybe somebody who's dealt with other people going through this. I don't know. This is a small town. I don't know what's available here. But, I mean, what do you do? Yeah. Advertise, hey, mother of a monster seeks help.
That's hard to hear because we know how much they babied him and how much they coddled him. So that tells you how much they loved him. And she's calling herself mother of a monster. That's how she sees herself. That's hard to hear. Hard to know that she's dealing with that.
Yeah.
Sorry.
I'm sorry you went through that. I the only thing I can say is sometimes in the mental health field, some therapists are a good fit and some aren't. So
not like now I can drive over to your house.
Yeah. All right.
But I thank you for listening to us. It's been helpful, and you guys you've been supportive without being enabling, and very professional, and I appreciate that. I appreciate the way you present things in your podcasts or your YouTube channel. I think you go for the truth, and I don't think you don't embellish it. And that's my problem with some of these people, is letting people on there to vent that are lying and they don't know it and they just been used. That's sad, but it's true. And in the meantime, we're sitting here being told, don't answer any of these, don't contact any of these people, don't try to refute it because you just make it worse.
Hmm.
The attorney told us that, said, shh, just be quiet. Don't try to stand up for yourself. Well, I'm not real good at not standing up for myself, but I've taken it for a long time now, and frankly, we're tired of it.
Yeah, understandably. Well, yeah. Thank you for allowing us to listen, and your voices. Every voice deserves to be heard and to listen to. Is there anything else you two feel like you want to share right now?
I am afraid that we will pass before Stephan does. And I worry about that. I worry about who will take care of him. I worry about who's going to bury him. And that bothers me. We're too old to go through this crap. We are. Too old and too beat up. But if he's executed, Chris has asked me if I wanted to be there. And I said yes.
We were
And
there when he was
why?
born. We'll be there when he dies.
I want him to know that there are two people in that room that are going to be sad when he's gone. And then we will send him with love. I'm done.
Wow. That's a hard thing to hear.
I'm gonna hit end recording now. Thank you, both of you.
Thank you.
All right. So that was the
nobody talks about when it comes to building a content
of the interview that Hidden True Crime did with Stephan Stern's parents. If you want to see the whole thing, please again go subscribe to Hidden True Crime. And if you click on playlist, you'll find one that says Madeline Soto, and it's all the way down at the bottom of that playlist. I will link her in the description box so you guys can all give her a like and subscribe. I'm really glad that they did that because that gave us an insight. And I'm really wondering what happened to that hard drive that is now gone. The fact that there's 35,000, and we heard that in the affidavit that there was like a ridiculous amount of images. Tells me that he was definitely selling them. They talk about him having money out of nowhere that he wasn't having before. So it really makes me think that he was definitely taking pictures and selling them. We're going to jump into his Reddit now. I wanted to read over some of his comments. When I do this, I can't really see the comment section, so I'm going to be jumping back and forth. Give me just 1 second and I will start reading. We can look at it for a second while I'm getting myself together to start reading it. Okay, so sorry about that. All right, so this is Stephan's Reddit profile. Okay. So what I looked at, we can check out his post. This is where I was talking about the Tamagotchis. That's his Tamagotchis collections, and he talks about buying one of these for Maddie in here. He made a card with his Reddit profile talking about building card decks and things. this isn't the main thing I want to look at. I want to look at his comments, but we can see, how this is what he was posting on. Here's one. Hey there, fellow ring slingers. I just wanted to bring the attention of any interested GLs here that UAB has some of his urethane resin GL rings available for purchase, and also one yellow ring as well. I just ordered mine, and initial delivery estimate is around mid-November at the earliest. Sorry if you hear chewing, that's my rabbit. So you can see, like, he basically just posted about cards and these toys. He bought a bunch of Nerf guns. Just trying to find that one where he talks about buying Maddie the Tamagotchi. It's like one he painted for her. There it is. Oops, I did it again. Another color shifting custom uni shell. This time on a purple uni for my stepdaughter. So he made that for Maddie, or painted it or something. That's Maddie's and his little Tamagotchis there. So yeah, that he just mainly posts about Tamagotchis and them card deck things. We can see over here, like he's got 13,786 post karma. I don't know what that is. I don't know much about Reddit. His birthday is August 16th, or it says cake day, August 16th, 2016. I don't know what that is unless it's the day he opened this profile. And his comment karma is 10,999. These comments I wanted to look at, a lot of them have to do with Disney cast members being unhappy. I don't want to read all of them because, Lord, we'd be here all day. I'll read this first one, this last one. Sorry, I have to eat. Okay, it says, you clearly have no idea what these jobs involve, how hard these CMs work every day, or the amount of BS they endure. Just waving people onto a ride? No, if that's all you think it is, then I suggest you go try it out. Also, he's replying to creepy criticism 321 7 months ago. He says, also look at corporate wage gaps across all the major U.S. companies. The information is only a Google search away. The numbers will absolutely shock you. Do higher-ups deserve better pay than a bottom-level employee? Absolutely. They have the schooling and the skills. But do they really deserve over 3,000% more than a basic employee? That's where the debate comes in. These CMs are working their asses off. Do you think you're putting a lot of steps on your Disney vacation? Try doing it every day all year round. Now sprinkle a little bit of getting screamed at by guests because their child is too short. Now add a dash of being understaffed to the point that your area can't assign and assist any roles. And now you're doing the work of 2 CMs. Now slash your area's budget to the bone so that the equipment starts to deteriorate, supplies run out, and maintenance suffers. But you're still expected to give 110% effort. Now get screamed at some more. Oh, and a bonus perk, you're legally responsible for the safety of everyone on that ride and in that attraction area. Also, work faster because efficiency is a high priority, but don't screw up or you're fired, but go faster still. These people who avoid attractions because of the stress, there are people who avoid attractions because of the stress it involves. I know people who have left the role because they couldn't take the pressure anymore. People who are running so hard that they struggle to keep weight on and are constantly sick because they interact with thousands of people every day. I already shared Chapik's numbers for 2022. And now Iger came in and got over 30 million in compensation for 2023. Your argument is not valid. Sorry. You've been brainwashed into thinking all of this is perfectly acceptable and that it even makes sense. That's just one company. And so many more of them are doing it too. This is why inflation is high, cost of living is high, and the average person is struggling more and more every year. Corporate greed has been allowed to run rampant and has gone unchecked for so long that this country is basically owned and run by corporate entities at this point. So that's kind of his thoughts on Disneyland. There's a lot of posts about Disneyland, and I don't want to just sit here and read about Disneyland. I know there's some other ones right here. He's replying, or is substitute teachers, and it says unexpectedly great student. Sustanet commented 7 months ago. Sometimes it's like that with kids. I was the same way in high school. I was quiet and polite, but when me and my friends were together, we raised hell and fed into each other's mischiefs. It could be just that. The other kid being absent may have broken that feedback loop of fuckery, so to speak. I don't know if they are friends or in cahoots very often, but it seems like upon first glance, or maybe he just is more hellish to people he is more comfortable or familiar with. Let me see if I can pull up the post. Yeah, I can't go back 7 months ago and all this. We'd be here all day. Let me see if I can. Oh, look, it took me all the way back to the top. I want to see if I can pull up the post. This is what he's replying to. So I was subbing 8th grade science. I'm not going to read all of it. I'm just going to read the first paragraph or two. This is from Utah. So I was subbing 8th grade science the other day, and the teacher left me the lesson plans, which was great, but the plans, she mentioned 2 young men in particular as being problems. One was absent, so I have no opinion. The other was very interesting. So that's kind of what he was replying to in that one. Like I said, I don't want to sit here and read this like all day, but I know there was somewhere he was commenting about some different things. That's that La Corena card game. Oh, yeah, this is one of the ones I heard about. This is advice for teens, and the post has been deleted by the user, probably because this post was brought up, and so we can't go see what the original post was. But Stearns here said, I'm happy to have given you a good giggle, and it's true. This is a lesson that took me a long time to learn, but it feels very empowering when you decide to cut an asshole out of your life because they don't deserve to be a part of it. Wonder if Maddie could have done that. Sounds like she tried to, but her fucking mama brought you right back in, right? Back to the article. She has failed at the most basic requirement for friendship. Don't treat each other like crap. You'll feel better about yourself in the long run, too, by taking charge of your own happiness. You don't need to be nasty about it or rub it in her face at all. Just say it as very plain, matter of fact, and that's it. Find the people that make you happy, reflect who you are and who you want to be, and treat them well. Don't ever feel bad about cutting ties with someone who only takes from the friendship and never gives to it. And remember to take care of yourself too. Heart, little heart. This grown-ass man is commenting to teens, trying to tell them, yeah, here's all the advice for teens. This is another one, and it was deleted by user. So I guess this one might have been first. It says, tell her she's a shitty friend and you don't want to hang out anymore. And then don't hang out with her anymore. If she tries, ice her out. If your other friends feel the same way, then maybe the next time you are all together at lunch, bring it up with all of them there to back you up. There is no rule anywhere that you have to stay in a friendship that affects you negatively. Friends lift each other up, not beat each other down, period. Like this, I don't like the fact that he's giving advice to teens. I need you to stop chewing, sir. I think he's done now. Sorry about my rabbit chewing. He's chewing on a box. Okay, here's a long one. Again, advice for teens. Hold on. Let me try to get him to stop, because I know that's annoying. Hey. I need you to stop, sir. You got to stop chewing. Please. For real. He's such a brat. Okay, advice for teens. My mom says she's going to kill me and then kill herself when we were arguing. Well, that's horrible. Your mom is extremely unstable. So are you, Stephan. She desperately needs counseling and possibly medication. The fact that she makes these threats and even acts them out to a certain extent is not normal at all and will likely continue to escalate. You never know when her breaking point will be reached, but these types of things often don't end well. She needs help, and you need to ensure your own safety as well. None of the things you have described are okay in the slightest. Keep in mind, he's saying this, excuse me, in a forum that's for teens. Whether or not you think she'll follow through with the threat is irrelevant. This is not normal behavior, and something is seriously going on with your mother's mental health. Ignoring this type of thing does not make it go away. You need to make use of the resources available to you and reach out to some professionals who specialize in these situations. Other commenters have provided links that effect already. Basil, stop it. Look, I love you, honey, but you got to go. You can't be in here chewing on bark. All right. Sorry. Other commenters have provided links to that effect already. Please make use of them because it's happened too many times already, and she's going to snap at some point. Maybe on you, maybe not, but it won't be good for anyone involved. She needs help, and so do you, to get safe. Don't ignore this. These are not red flags or little warnings to be ignored. This is a loud air raid siren, and you need to take it seriously. As painful as it may be, because she's your mom, you need to act. What she is doing is abuse, plain and simple. There is no gray area here. She is violently abusive, verbally abusive, emotionally abusive, mentally abusive, all of it. And it sounds like a few of her immediate relatives are the same way towards you. Let me just say that he's calling out on this forum for teens all of this abuse while at the same time doing that and being sexually abusive as well. Let me put a banner up stating what we are doing if anybody comes in. Okay, sorry about that. I'm going to scroll this across the bottom so that if anybody walks in and I'm just reading, they understand what I'm reading. Okay, back to the post. The longer you stay in this situation, the worse off you'll be. Your mental health has already been affected by this, and the torment will only continue to add more layers of trauma and damage until you are just a broken person by the time you grow up. If she's even going to let you live long enough to grow up. Get out. This is... okay. He's talking about what she's doing is abuse, plain and simple. There is no gray area here. She's violently abusive, verbally abusive, emotionally abusive, mentally abusive, all of it. And then the longer you stay in this situation, the worse off you'll be. Right here. The torment will only continue to add more layers of trauma and damage until you are just a broken person by the time you grow up. That right there speaks volumes to me. The trauma and damage, the layers of trauma and damage, the torment will only continue to add more layers of trauma and damage until you are just a broken person by the time you grow up. That's exactly what he was doing to Madeline, and cared enough about Reddit and posting on Reddit in these teen forums to say this to somebody else, but not taking into any account that he's doing the same thing to Madeline. Like, you're seeing all of these things from a post, what's going on, and to call these things out, but you're doing the same thing to somebody in your life. Like, so you obviously knew what you were doing to Madeline and just didn't care. It seems to me like you cared more about people online than you did about Madeline, because you're giving them advice and calling out all of the fuckery that this person's going through while committing the same fuckery and even more fuckery to the child in your life, the teen in your life. Like, this is insane. It's sick. These are all Walt Disney posts. Advice for teens. Oh, yeah, this is one I heard of. So let's read the original post. I'm pregnant. Oh, it was deleted. I'm pregnant and I don't know what to do. So I don't know what the original post said because they've deleted it, but let's see what Stephans said. There was I think it was a comment from somebody. I'll let that load. Like it or not, this is something you may need help with. You may be scared or embarrassed to talk to a trusted friend or family member, but it's probably the right thing to do. You need to get ahead of this. You need a game plan. You need support. And if we take into account the fact that Madeline was pregnant, like his game plan, his help, his support, his talking to a trusted friend or family members, game plan, support was murdering her, the pregnant teen in his life, if she was pregnant. Okay, this is funny. Auto moderator, and then it's that advice for teens group. Attention, predators lurk on Reddit, and we ourselves, unfortunately, cannot directly do anything to stop them. But you can. We encourage all posters to disable private messages and do not respond to DMs. That's interesting. All right, let's continue on. I saw Disneyland. Springfield Armory. That's what she said. You're sick. Ask, which was deleted by user. As everyone has said, ease into it. Start small with something relatively light. What? What on earth? Don't go straight for a thick, juicy steak or anything. Chicken is a good starting point. It's easy to digest and it's delicious. There's a reason no one usually ever says it tastes like chicken in a disappointed way. Eat slowly and pace yourself first so you don't overwhelm yourself and enjoy. The great thing about being an omnivore, it's eating meat for the first time or something to that effect. Okay. This one is classic wow. Most trustworthy class. I play a rogue and I understand your sentiment completely. Laugh out loud. I love it because questioning on a rogue is so easy. Just bypassing mobs and going straight for the objective and being a single target DPS hot rod is fun and dangerous in dungeons and raids. Oh, it's about that game. I like to mostly mind my own business and act like an invisible bodyguard while I'm out and about. If I'm out in the world and see an ally getting attacked, I may jump in if it's going badly. Otherwise, I'm doing my thing and minding my business. Rogues are a lot like sharks. You never know exactly how they might be around you at any given time. Yeah, I can definitely relate you to a predator shark, but they are probably there, and you should always be conscious of that possibility. I wish we all would have been more conscious of you. So this is Anita Wabita Public. It says post your stories inquiring if you are or would be the asshole. The subject matter is not restricted. AITAH for calling the cops on my girlfriend for pulling a gun and threatening to shoot our dogs while drunk. Lord have mercy. NTA, I don't know what that is, but the relationship is over, period. You cheated. She will never get over that. And the relationship is over. Trust me, I've been there. Oh, really? Really? It's already dead, and you are just dragging it out into a long, painful, messy death. I learned a long time ago that cheating is never worth it. It compromises you and destroys the trust that is required for a successful and happy relationship. Oh, but, raping the daughter of the person you're in a relationship, that's okay for a successful, happy relationship, right? If you're at the point you want to cheat, you need to step back and reevaluate some things. Like if you really want to be in a relationship with your current significant other, and if not, just break it off. That's just advice for the future. But you should definitely break this current relationship off immediately. Give it a more merciful and dignified death. And for the sake of safety, do it while you're both sober and then get the fuck out as soon as possible. 80 suggestions for a sandwich maker that isn't pizza or grilled cheese. And my hacks. I don't know what that means. That's more post about Disney World. Like, I should read those at some point and see if he was posting about kids or something. That's Tamagotchis. Dungeons and Dragons. Dungeons and Dragons, Tamagotchis. Tamagotchis. How do you guys make so much money in Classic? I found that professionals that can gather and craft raid supplies or other consumables usually make a steady income. Found this key inside of an old shoe. First time metal detecting. The secret lies with Charlotte. That must be a reference to a book or movie. Guns, guns, guns. Okay. There are a lot of great micro 9s out there these days, and I definitely recommend you look into them. I have 2 micros, a 6R P365XL, which is fantastic for me. Fits my hand like a glove, points naturally, can accept optics, 12 round mags, and conceals great. I also have a Springfield Hellcat OSP, which I enjoy very much. So this is talking about his gun collection. Between the two, however, I'm a bit faster on the draw and more naturally accurate with the SIG. That's usually what I carry on a daily basis, but will switch to the Hellcat if I need something that is slightly more concealable for whatever reason. As a slightly smaller sport form with the Hellcat, 11 RD mags help with that. Both are optics ready and can accept the option for a small reflex sight if that's something you're interested in. Get on the internet, look up micro 9s, and decide if you'd like to check out. And get out to the local shops and wrap your hands around some of them and see what feels good to you. Digimon. Serious conversation. Death scares me. He says, we're all in it together. Make the best of it while you can, and don't worry about something that is inevitable and entirely beyond your control. The good news is when you die, your problems and worries will no longer exist. I wonder if he's going to take this advice if he gets the death penalty. And you will probably not know that you are dead. And there likely won't be any dark void or sense of self to be aware of anything. You just won't be anymore. And then you'll be too dead to know or care about it. No one knows with absolute certainty what happens after, except those that have gone before. But they aren't coming back to tell us about it. It helps us to remember that you are not alone in this, and it's something that everyone must eventually come to terms with. Life can feel like a joke sometimes. I don't know about that. And death is the punchline. Our lives are short and difficult, and the world can be cruel, and you can too, sir. And we will spend our whole lives just trying to survive. And our reward at the end will still be death. Just run your race, be good to the people you care for, and make hay while the sun shines. Think of your death as a reward, as the end of your journey and your troubles, like the final nap to beat all naps, the best sleep you'll ever have, like going home. Don't rush to meet it, but understand that we all have our day, and don't be afraid when your day comes. Just live your life and try to enjoy all the little things that make you happy. That bothers me. I don't like reading that. I'm going to copy the link here in case anybody wants to come up. I'm sorry, I forgot. I forget to post the link. Let me post it real quick. Sometimes I can't see this page when I'm reading the Reddit page, so I'll have to click back and check. But there is the link in the comment section if anybody wants to join me on panel. So, our Spicy says, I feel like I hit the lottery today. And he says, from personal experience, it's great on pizza too. The red pepper flavor blends with flavors of pizza really well, and it's good as an additional ingredient for pot sticker sauce. So, like, he's making all these posts, right? Whoa! Are mildly infuriating. And the post was deleted by user, and his response was concoction of the pornography. Laugh out loud. What? Dang. I wonder what the post was. Look, this is what it shows when I click on that post. It all just deleted. Wow. There's his comment right there. Deleted. Wow. Let me make sure that y'all can see the Reddit page and pull it back up. Conviction of the pornography. Laugh out loud. Man, I'd love to know what that post was about. I'm going to have to like get on top of these things at the beginning of the case and pull them so we have them. Okay. That's Digimon Pet, Tamagotchi, La Carena, them card games. Tamagotchi, La Carena, Walt Disney World. More card games. Right here, my lightsaber got stuck. That's what she said. Who said? Maddie said? Sick motherfucker. Epcot is Disney. Digimon. What? Natural's fucking lit. We are here to appreciate the awesome majesty and incredibly cool aspects of nature. I want to put Macarenas in his hand and a little sombrero on his head. Peacock spider, the male's outfit that primarily serves to attract females. Oh, okay. It's talking about that dancing spider. I don't know if y'all seen it. You know that spider right there, if it'll load. Yeah, he dances around to attract females. And he said, Stephans said, I want to put little Macarenas in his hand and a sombrero on his head. All right, let me pull back up the Reddit. Hold on just a minute. Okay, Tinder. Post was deleted by users, and he said, have you tried neck tattoos? Okay. ANITA. What is this? It says this is a community like R. Am I the asshole? Am I the asshole? That's what it stands for. Am I the asshole? So, am I the asshole for sacrificing my daughter's college fund because her sister just gave birth to her 4th child? This was 10 months ago. Stephans said, okay. Wow. So, to be clear, your older daughter who can't keep her legs closed, let's not make sure you don't reference the damn, what, she would have been 12-year-old who you're forcing to keep her legs open for you, you sick bastard. Let me start over. Sorry, I probably shouldn't have said that, but Lord Jesus. So to be clear, your older daughter who can't keep her legs closed and keeps popping out babies she can't afford has a dead-end career, and her boyfriend who can't seem to climb off of her for 5 minutes and also not very promising career path himself. What the fuck? Like, I'm sorry, I need to just stop for a minute. Are you referring to yourself? Can't climb off of her for 5 minutes. Not a very promising career path. Like, are you talking about yourself, sir? Because that's you, motherfucker. That's you. I need my doTERRA adaptive for this. Lord of mercy. All right. Her boyfriend, who can't seem to climb off of her for 5 minutes and not a very promising career path, took a stupid risk and fucked up their living situation. As a result, your younger daughter is now being punished for this by having her own future prospects and a chance to do better for herself snatched away. And you honestly have to ask if you're the asshole here? Yes, 100%, without a doubt. That's big time fucked up. Your 17-year-old has a chance not to end up in the same damn place your oldest is in. Your oldest has made some dumb choices and continued making more on top of it. Tell her to stop shooting kids out like her coochie is a damn slip and slide. I want to smack him. Tell her to stop shooting out kids like her coochie is a damn slip and slide. Get her ass on state aid if she isn't already. And do not rob your youngest of her chance at a future so that your oldest can continue to squander her opportunities away for nothing. That money will not help your oldest make better choices in the future. And she almost certainly will piss through it too fast. But that money could actually help your younger daughter get a head start and do better for herself. If you move forward with these plans, you will have 2 kids in a tight spot instead of 1. And one of them will have a very good reason for resenting you for the rest of your life. Asshole, not just an asshole, but a stupid asshole at that. I really want to punch this motherfucker in the face right now. I'm going to have to like screenshot that and fucking post that. That's horrendous. Mindly infuriating. Keep your stupid effing stickers off my effing car. Yeah, that's the problem. If I did it back, it'd be vandalism. But they can harass people and stick these things anywhere they like. And it's just A-okay. So it's frustrating. But you know the way, you know what they say. Legality is only an issue if they get caught. For real? Laugh out loud. I bet you're laughing at the fucking prison right now. Mr. Legality is only an issue if they only get caught. That's more about the stupid stickers on the car. Millennials. Are there any millennials that don't feel like life is all that bad? I've always felt that no matter how bad it gets, as long as there are still things in the world like pizza or tacos, it's not all bad. Well, from what I understand, there's not pizzas and tacos. I know there's not in county jail. Might be in prison, but you ain't getting pizzas and tacos in the county there, bud. Ha ha ha. Stussnit says that gun looks like a pinata, but I'm pretty sure that ain't candy popping out of it. Laser guns. Digimons. What does my taste in women say about me? That you need to get outside and touch some grass more often? Because these women are all cartoons. I think Stephan needs to get outside and get punched in the face more often because his women are all children. I lost my B card, my virginity, to a 37-year-old woman. And now a 14-year-old girl has reached out to me claiming I'm her father. Stephan, 10 months ago, said paternity for absolute certainty, but I'm glad your wife is so understanding. Sounds like a great woman. And these things do happen. It's not like you knew or were trying to dip out on the baby. So you are on high ground, so to speak. And who knows what else the mother might have been. And who knows who else the mother might have been with besides you. Check out the fiance. So it's a roll of the dice at this point. The only thing certain is that she isn't checkouts is the only thing certain is she isn't checkout's daughter or stepdad's. You did the right thing to tell your wife the situation and let her give you some insight and advice. That's the whole point of having a partner. You deal with these things together. I'm glad to hear the daughter is at least has a reliable support system with uncle, and I hope she finds her dad, whoever it may be. But if for nothing else, just to know, if she's the fiance's child, I truly hope he does right by her. And if she's yours, it sounds like you already intend to do right. So kudos and good luck, sir. Somebody's feet was hurting so bad. Best thing you can do for yourself is buy good shoes. Look into Kuru. They aren't the cheapest, but I swear by them. I work attractions at Epcot, and I'm on my feet anywhere from 6 to 12 hours, depending on the shift. Constantly walking, only taking 15-minute breaks every couple of hours. Some days I put in anywhere from 12,000 to 20,000 steps, depending on the shift. Because he had that step counter. I think we saw a picture of it in the beginning. I've had shoes that wore out within a month and a half, but my Kuros will go 6 months without a problem. Longer of the Yowie, get a couple of pairs to rotate out throughout the week. It's the smartest money you will spend. I'm going to check my StreamYard for comments real quick. Okay, I see nobody's commented. Let's continue on. I'm probably going to only read a few more of these, and then I'll go over the news article I saw, and that'll have to be it for me today. I will tell you how to find this page, though, if you want to read it. These are all Digimon. My job put this up on a door to test our loyalty. I don't know what that's about. 22-round mag for HD Diana. Slaps mag. I got 22 rounds in this bag, boy. Look at all that ammo. Holds trigger for 3 seconds, and it's gone. Laugh out loud, love it. I really hope to get a Diana for myself sometime soon. It's so quiet. Am I the asshole? Am I the asshole for making an if he's not ready on time, he stays home policy against my wife's wishes? If she wants to continue being able to afford daycare, food, electricity, a roof over their heads, and clothes on their backs, then your employment cannot be jeopardized. Like it or not, it's time to suck it up and understand that a suitable and steady income is supremely important in this day and age, especially, and it takes priority in this case. Bills need to be paid. It's just a matter of fact. With the rising cost of groceries and inflation in general, money needs to be coming in, and jeopardizing that by not being able to stay on schedule is a major problem. So he removed a post that he responded for Am I the asshole for refusing to delete a video taken in public? Evidently, he wrote something that was so bad that even he thought he needed to remove it. What the hell? I'd have loved to know what that was. It's Tamagotchi. Am I the asshole for telling my husband to get over my sister and getting into a car accident in his car? He has every right to still be pissed off and is petty towards her as he wants. That was not a not so great choice on her part. This was an earth-shatteringly fucked up thing to do. You have no right to tell him otherwise, regardless of whether or not it's your sister. It sounds like she has a life with no boundaries or consequences. It sounds like her family enables this bullshit. Oh, see, you can call out all this shit, but don't reference any of it to yourself, right? Your sister stole his car, wrecked it, and cost him $15,000 out of pocket. That is not something you can tell someone to just get over. You owe him a massive apology, and your sister owes him $15,000. YTA 100%. You're the asshole 110%. Locarena game card. Server life, what do you think about this? This is no. Go back to your table. You don't work here. Sit down and wait like everyone else. These are all just Digimon, favorite Green Lantern films. Locarena, Digimon, our toys. What toy did you lose as a kid and later bought as an adult for nostalgia? Pocket Pikachu. Though this time I opted for the color version that came out a couple years after my original one did. Tamagotchi, Green Lantern, USPS. The post was deleted by user. And Stephans wrote, just wanted to make sure y'all could still see it. When he comes in the first few times and starts complaining about not getting deliveries, just remind him that he asked for this. His wish was granted, and no one from your office will step foot on his property again. Get used to it. This is his life now. If he really wants it back, make him jump through some hoops to do it. That maybe, if possible, involve him swallowing his pride and personally apologizing to each and every postal worker in that office and telling them how much he now appreciates what they do and the service that they provide, and promise to never make them feel unsafe for performing that service for him again. Homeowner, my dog was attacked in my neighborhood again. This is very important. Once you show symptoms of rabies, it's already too late and is almost always fatal. There are rare cases where people were brought back from it, but that is the very, very extremely rare exception, not the rule. Actually, if you get treated for rabies pretty quickly, you can get over it. Or heal from it, not get over it. I think these are all Digimon things. Digipet. Digivpet. Digimon Bpet. Lightsabers. Deleted by user. That was great. Thanks for the last before my work shift. I would like to know what that said. Oh, now he's posting in Nerf gun forums. Teachers. Is it just where I live that Christian students are misbehaved and rude? I don't generally like to disparage people based on faith, but I've never met a Mormon that wasn't absolutely two-faced and backstabby. I've had several experiences where I met Mormons that I initially really liked, and they seemed nice, but ended up not liking them after a while. They are very polite and friendly to your face, and then they go out of their way to subvert or sabotage you behind your back if there's anything about you or your lifestyle they don't approve of. After 4 separate instances of this occurring, it has left a sour taste. Wonder why you're attracted to the Mormon religion. And Mormons, I'm just going to leave that at that. Neighbor left this note on my door because my toddler runs around during his bedtime routine at 8:30 p.m. So it's just talking about if they do end up sending cops to your door repeatedly, make sure you document it and save that note too. There is a name for what they plan to do to you. It's called harassment. If they plan to use police to come to your door on a regular basis just to hassle you about a toddler doing toddler things, that's harassment. Document it all, including the note where they were nice enough to give you, which details their planned campaign of police calls. Wait for them to shoot themselves in the foot with it all. I'm not going to continue reading that one. Our stories. Deleted by user. She's going to have enough extra meat to open her Arby's down. What? Oh, she's going to have enough extra meat to open her own Arby's down there. Like, I'm glad to know how you really viewed women, Stephan. This is lightsabers, but it's like, where should I buy from? I'm going to read one more and then be done with the Reddit. I will tell you how to get a Reddit if you want to read it. That's a Taco Bell post. Locarena. All Locarena. I know he's got like 10,000 posts. That's a Dairy Queen. Had a lady call me a bitch and tell me to shove a blizzard up my ass over the 85-cent blizzards. Yep, I can see how that would be confusing to a total mouth-breathing moron. Uber. Oh, cocksucker. Says 80 degrees and humid out there and the driver won't turn on the air conditioner. Oh, cocksucker, I'm sure that's a familiar concept for you since your mom's mouth was the only reason your illiterate ass made it through school. Go on, Texas, shut me up. Wow. So he's arguing with people. Let's start at the beginning of this. Oh my God. I'm not going to start at the beginning of this. Of course. So, no, you didn't. Of course, you'd say that because you're a dumbass who admits they can't even read. Blah, 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 bitch, bitch, bitch. Quoted directly from a dumb bitch from Texas who needs AC even in the 70s and wouldn't survive without it. Oh, cocksucker. I'm sure that's a familiar concept for you since your mom's mouth was the only reason your illiterate ass made it through school. Go on, Texas, shut me up. Oh, but I bet you're great on your knees. Come on, sugar. Show me that Lone Star lip action. Holy shit. All but I bet you're great on your knees. Come on, sugar, show me that Lone Star lip action. I'm sorry. I gotta see what this motherfucker was saying to him if I can find it. Let's see. Somebody talking about it being 80 degrees in the car and somebody wouldn't turn the AC on. I don't know if I'll be able to find it, but I don't know how to search for like what he said or his comment specifically. I'm not seeing his name. It's Sustenant. Maybe I missed it. I'm going to go back up and see. One star, no tip. Let me see if I see any more from him. No, that's not him. That's not him. It's got to be here somewhere. Oh, it keeps going down. Let me go back up and see if we see it there. I'm just being nosy at this point. I'm not going to keep us on here because that was interesting. Let me pull it back up. I'm going to read it one more time. So he's arguing with somebody who's talking about 80 degrees and humid out and the driver won't turn on the air conditioner. I will read his first two comments, even though they're long, and that'll probably be it for me. So his first comment was, I live in Central Florida where it's so hot and humid, even walking out to check the mail will have you drenched in sweat when you get back into the house. Where AC is not so much a luxury but a necessity, and while 80 is not that hot, it's still not very comfortable, especially in high humidity, which makes the heat feel like it's clinging to you. Add the fact that OP is sitting in the back of the car and the windows were up with the sun coming through the back window and baking you. It's basically an oven at that point. And the internal temp will spike up well over the 80-degree mark, which is also why you don't leave children and pets in hot cars. Same concept here. And no one wants to be dripping with sweat from being stuck in the back seat with no AC on a hot day. Driver was a shithead and you are acting like a snotty asshole just to prove a stupid point that wasn't even worth proving in the first place. Somebody said something and he said, agreed, Florida sucks. And yes, reading is hard, especially for some idiotic wannabe internet tough guy and who really gives a rat's ass Texas. However, your assertion is contradicted by your admission that you use the AC everywhere. Why not put your money where your mouth is? Shut off that AC and prove how tough you really are. No, don't want to do that. Then what's the actual point of anything you're saying? Turn off your AC, keep the windows rolled up, and take a turn off your AC, and keep the windows rolled up and take a nice hour-long drive to some other part of that hole you live in that no one gives a crap about and see how it feels. Temperature outside doesn't mean diddy shit. Usually it's diddly squat, but he said diddly shit. When you are inside a vehicle with the windows up and no AC, the internal temp is much higher than the temp outside. It's that simple. So while 80 isn't that hot, it's much higher than 80 inside that car. Do you not understand the basics of how a car heats up inside? Lock your dog or baby in the car while you run to the store for 20 minutes and then try telling the cops, but it's 80 80 degrees isn't even hot. Your comments are pointless. If you want to talk the talk, then you better walk the walk and stop using your AC. Otherwise, you are just full of shit. Like, I'm going to try to... What is karma? Well, look, I'm ADHD. We'll look at that in a minute. I'm going to pull it up and see if we can find it again in just a minute. So after that, the person said something back and he replied, no, you didn't. And then they replied back and he said, of course you'd say that because you're a dumbass who admits they can't even read. And then they said something, and then Stephans said back, blah, 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 bitch, 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 quoted directly from a dumb bitch from Texas who needs AC even in the 70s and wouldn't survive without it. Then that person said something back, and Stephans said, oh, cocksucker. So I'm assuming the guy called Stephan a cocksucker, or the girl, whoever it was. And he responds, oh, cocksucker, I'm sure that's a familiar concept for you since your mom's mouth was the only reason your illiterate ass made it through school. Go on, Texas, shut me up. And then the person responded, and Stephans said back, oh, but I bet you're great on your knees. Come on, sugar, show me that Lone Star lip action, you fucking... If I could, I'd punch him in the face. And that was the end of that conversation. I'm going to share this again, and we'll try to see. Like, it shows me all the responses, but I don't see him. I'm looking. Like, he left a long comment, so I should see a long comment. So I'm scrolling looking for the long comments. This one said, I live in Texas. It was 109 yesterday. I work outside in the heat and cold every day, welding and doing metal fabrication and other labor-intensive works. So I'm definitely more acclimated than most. I don't think that's the one he was talking to, though. "80 degrees is great weather where I'm from in America." I'm still looking for the long post. Like, this is just me being nosy at this point. I guess that's it. Oh, whoa. For your information, the rude asshole Sustanet commenting on this post is Stephan Stearns, a pedophile who murdered a 13-year-old daughter, the 13-year-old daughter of his girlfriend. He had videos on his phone of himself raping her dating back to when she was 10 years old. He dumped her body on the side of the road like trash. But I still can't find the comments. I'm glad that person said that, but... Huh. Dang, I wish I could have found that argument for us to look at. All right. Sorry. That was tripping me out. I'm sorry. I was being nosy. All right. So let's read one more, and then I'll pull up the news article talking about the first affidavit, and then that's going to have to be it for me. Thank you, everybody, for being here. Like my mom Jenny just said, I do appreciate you watching. If you're watching the replay, please consider subscribing. And I greatly appreciate everybody's just being here. If you could, please hit the like button. That helps me out a lot. And the subscribe button helps us out too. And greatly appreciate you spending time with me here today, listening to me run my mouth. These are all La Carena posts. Unethical life pro tips. Got the phone number of an a-hole eBay buyer. I don't think that's... Oh, whoa. Put it in an ad somewhere online like Craigslist or whatever equivalent, advertising your service as an escort. List his number as the point of contact. Laughed as he gets confusing messages from lonely and horny individuals. That's not nice. That's not nice. Those are all La Carena. Mindly infuriating. Getting shit for locking the door while I'm asleep. Random thieves will literally walk around and test doors. I've only been robbed in my house once, and it happened to be the night my dumbass roommates left the sliding door unlocked, and happened to be the night some random thieves tried our sliding door. I got the fun experience of sitting up in bed at 4 a.m. with two dudes in my room stealing my shit. I yelled, "Yo!" They bolted, and I chased them all the way out to a car that was waiting on the street with the driver ready to go. I threw a punch into the glass of their passenger window because I was in full attack mode, and their face was on the other side of it. I walked back into my house, yelled at the top of my lungs for my roommates to wake the fuck up and get downstairs, while noticing that I had stubbed my toe badly at some point and was bleeding heavily. Good times, lock your damn doors. I wonder if that was at the house that they lived at. Oh, whoa. Man takes attempts to discreetly take photo of my wife up her skirt. You handled it well. Your FIL, I don't know what that is, doesn't have a strong strategic mind or consideration of long-term consequences. Escalating to violence, while morally warranted and understandable to anyone in this position, could lead to worse outcomes. Avoid it whenever possible. A concerned criminal can be dangerous, and a cornered criminal can be dangerous, and a cornered criminal fighting for their life and freedom is even more so. It would be hard to protect and provide for FLIL's daughter and grandchild from prison or a grave. Not to mention, serious assault charges can affect your ability to maintain a decent career and income for your family. A real man considers all of these things when making these types of decisions. Doing the right thing in a way that is best for your family in the long run or term is the smartest way to do it. 100% you protected your wife's modesty and privacy and are still around to do so in the future. Creeper will remember this, and it might be a wake-up call to rethink his life choices. If he apparently frequents that location, and security has got him in their sights if or when he shows up again. Well handled, good husband, good father, smart man. And we know what's weird to me about that is we saw the pictures where he had the phone positioned under the crack of the door so he could see the person in there changing or whatnot. Our shit posting. He removed this one. Anon is proud to be Australian, and he removed that one. It wasn't even good enough for his approval, which is shit. My friends decided to pick me up in a stolen car. I don't really care about that one. La Carena. Macarena. Okay. Oh, wow. I guess we'll end on this one. Am I the asshole for thinking my husband was sexualizing our daughter? Wonder what his thoughts are on that. You're the asshole. Why is that not a surprise that that's his thought process? Why am I not surprised? You're the asshole. Absolutely. 110%. Go back to therapy, please. Imagine how... I want to read... Hold on. Let's read the post. Damn it. It says, sorry, this post was removed by Reddit's filters. I'll share it real quick and I'll bring up the other one. Sorry, this post was removed by Reddit's filters. Damn it. All right, hold on. Let me bring y'all back up what we're reading. Hold on just a minute. Okay, so the post was unfortunately removed, but he said, you're the asshole, absolutely 110%. Go back to therapy, please. Imagine how it would feel to be treated like a monster constantly without the benefit of the doubt, without having ever given your reason to, simply because you had a bad experience with someone else. He shouldn't have to defend himself all the time from your accusations and misplaced suspicions. Stop projecting your father's horrible actions onto your innocent husband. They are not the same person. All men are not automatically predators and lurking monsters, but you were. JFC, we get enough of that treatment from random Karens out in the world. We don't need it from the people we love and trust, whom should love and trust us too. Wow. I wonder if that was the kind of lingo and manipulation he was using with Jennifer. Because, I mean, we know he 100% was sexualizing Madeline. The question is, did Jennifer know? Was she involved? I'm going to look for one more. Like, some of the shit he says is just mind-blowing. These are all Tamagotchis. Unethical life pro tips. How do I ruin canned lager? I have a pulled muscle in my back. It hurts to laugh. GD, you for causing me so much pain for this comment. Some more Walt Disney World posts. Tamagotchis. All right, this next one, whatever one I find, is going to be the last one, I swear. Then we'll read the article. It's 40 hours a week is too damn much. All Tamagotchis. Okay, so am I the asshole? The comment was deleted by user, and he said, I personally have a habit of snoozing. I set 6 alarms for myself to mitigate that. He needs to put on his big boy pants and learn how to make sure he is on time for his own damn job. NTA. Am I the asshole for pointing out a period stain to my coworker? Not the asshole. Would she rather have you had said nothing at all? If I had something stuck in my teeth, I'd want someone to let me know so I'm not smiling at people with gross looking grill all day. How could she have interpreted that as anything other than just trying to be a pal and let her know? Some people are just determined to be uptight for no other reason than to be uptight, but she was probably already in a bad mood considering the circumstances. Thanks for the wide-netted judgment there, you fucking dick. Am I the asshole for telling someone that his achievement just meant that he had rich parents? If you had the opportunity to visit 150 countries, wouldn't you? Who cares if he's more fortunate in life than you? That's life. It's not fair. And anyone who might have told you otherwise was lying. Your coworker was excited about something and you shit on it because you didn't have the same opportunities. Too many people are petty about what other people have instead of just being grateful for what they do have and staying in their own lane. You're the asshole, sorry. Easy coming from someone who was rich. Handsome boy gets a loving new home. Nothing warms my heart than seeing an animal like this. Something about an animal. Tamagotchi. All the Tamagotchi post. All right. So I'm going to stop sharing this. We will look at the emails real quick. Let me go ahead and I'm going to show you how to do a Reddit so that if you don't know, you can know in case you want to go look at it and continue reading through it. I can't do that. I'd be here all day. So you're going to download Reddit and you're going to make your profile and answer all the questions. And then when you search, you're going to search people and you're going to type in just like this, U/SUSTINET. You're going to type it in Reddit just like that. Okay? And it's going to pull up his Reddit. You can also type that into Google and right here, Reddit, sustanet. And you can click on it and it says mature. Okay, it says I'm sharing. So it's going to pop up with this mature content. Are you over 18? Yes, I'm over 18. I have a profile. I had to make one. And then it's going to pull you up right here on his page. You might have to make a profile to prove you are over 18, but it's that simple. If anybody wants to continue reading through that, I would be here literally all day if I continued reading that. Now I'm pulling up the news article about the how old Madeline was. Let me share this and see. I sent myself several news articles, so I got to see if this is the one that lists those charges. Basically, it gives the years that it all started. So this was before we found out about the other profile, and it says or the hard drive, I'm sorry. It says Fox 35 has obtained new documents from the Florida State Attorney's Office in the Madeline Soto investigation. These documents provide new details previously unknown, including the initial interview police had with Stephans Stearns, Madeline's mom's boyfriend, his timeline of what happened the day Madeline was reported missing, the 1,700 sexually explicit images allegedly found on his cell phone, and details about his relationship with a 13-year-old girl. The documents, mainly investigative report summaries and recorded interviews between Stearns and detectives, provide graphic, potentially disturbing details that led to 60 child sex-related charges. Stearns was initially arrested on 2 days after Madeline was reported missing. It also offers details on Stearns' timeline of what happened in the hours before and after Madeline was reportedly dropped off at school. Officials and law enforcement say Maddie never actually made it to class that day. The recorded interview was recorded on February 27th, the day before he was described by law enforcement as a prime suspect in her disappearance. He had also not yet been charged with any crimes related to the alleged images found on his cell phone or her disappearance and death at the time of that interview. There's that monster. There's Maddie. I'm just trying to find it. Yeah, shortly after Stearns was booked into jail and charged with 60 counts of sexual battery, lewd and lascivious molestation, and unlawful possession of materials depicting the sexual performance of a child. I'm trying to find. It's talking about how she slept in the bed. Stearns told law enforcement that Madeline, quote, always needed human contact when going to sleep. Something Stearns referred to as snuggling, the report said. He said, I'm the person she goes to when her mom gets in a fight with her and she needs someone to comfort her. I'm that person for her. You're a fucking sick bastard. Madeline Soto's mom reacts to the photo of abuse. In the same conversation between law enforcement and Jen, the report implies that detectives let her know about their suspicions of the alleged abuse. The report states that redacted, so Jennifer did not want to believe Madeline and Stephan were engaged in sexual activity. Jennifer asked to see the image of Stephan and Madeline. When showed a printed photo of what was allegedly found on the Google Drive, Madeline's mom claimed she did not recognize anything in the picture, as if she was in denial, and later became visibly upset, the document states. It says that she's not been named a person of interest. It's talking about the timeline. Okay. Let me check my other news article that I sent myself. I sent myself like several last night. Give me just a second. I know it's not up there. We'll look at his arrest warrant real quick. So I've got that. Let me put it where you guys can see it. Oh no, that's my Gmail. Hold on. Do. I am pulling it up from my files right now. Let me try to get it on the screen for you guys. Hold on. I didn't pull it up yet. Thank you, computer, for letting me see what I had already clicked on like 7 times. Hold on just a minute. Alrighty. So, it says, if I can read it, emergency warrant request cover sheet. Officers of Kissimmee Police Department are waiting to immediately, directly, instantly, like instant, and at once, without delay, proceed in the search on this search and arrest warrant. In compliance with the 9th Judicial Circuit warrant signing procedure, this cover sheet is attached to their request for emergency arrest and search warrant. The Kissimmee Police Department recognizes that an emergency is an unforeseen combination of circumstances that calls for immediate action, and that law enforcement should seek emergency duty judge intervention only in rare and extreme circumstances where the law or totality of the circumstances requires immediate action, that it must appear that urgent circumstances are present and the lack of immediate action would result in the loss of evidence or imminent escape of a suspect. And they have marked the location of suspect is, and it gives the address. Let me change that real quick. Sorry, I didn't see that. So, oh no. In the circuit court of the 9th Judicial Circuit and for Osceola County, Florida, the state of Florida versus Stephans Stearns. It tells us about Stephan and his affidavit for arrest. Let me get a drink of my coffee so I can continue reading. Okay. So the state of Florida, Osceola County, says digitally appears in the affidavit Detective Brian Moore, a sworn law enforcement officer to wit, and the officer for the Kissimmee Police Department who makes this affidavit and states under oath that a affiant has probable cause to believe that certain laws have been violated in Osceola County, Florida, and that on or between May 20th of 2022 to December 3rd of 2023, the defendant Stephan Michael Stearns did violate Florida statute and commit the offenses of sexual battery and possession of material sexual performance by a child. Your affiant, Detective Moore, is a sworn law enforcement officer employed by the Kissimmee Police Department and has been employed by said agency since 2018. Your affiant currently investigates crimes in the city of Kissimmee. Your affiant, in the course of his or her official duties, has come to investigate that on February 26, 2024, at approximately 2000 hours, Madeline was reported missing by her mother. The mother advised her daughter's stepfather, Stephan Stearns, picked her up from home and dropped her off at Hunter Creek Middle School on February 26, 2024. The mother then went to pick up Maddie from school at dismissal and learned Madeline had never showed up to school. An interview was conducted with Jennifer Soto, Stephan Stearns, who advised he picked Madeline up and dropped her off in front of Peace United Methodist Church preschool in Orlando, which was down the street from the school, at 8:40 hours. Hunter Creek Middle School begins class at 9:30. A license plate reader captured Stephan's vehicle with Florida tag driving somewhere. During the interview with Stephan, he provided consent to search his phone. However, he stated he had accidentally performed a factory reset on his phone on February 26th, the same day Madeline went missing. That's what I said. Like, you're doing factory resets the same day Madeline goes missing. There's only 4 pages here. I'm still looking for the affidavit, but we can, like I said, read this warrant. Okay. After an extensive canvass of the area and interviews with Madeline's family and friends, it was unusual for Madeline to be dropped off down the street from school and not stay in communication with family and friends. Upon reviewing the contents of Stephans' phone, several images and videos were located which depicted Madeline Soto's entire body and the opening, her everything, as a focal point of the pictures and videos. There were also pictures and videos depicted Madeline and him raping her, pretty much. As such, the files depict the sexual performance of a child. Your affidavit has probable cause to believe Stephan was in possession of material depicting the sexual performance of a child. It should be noted that the member observed penetrating Madeline had distinct markings on it, which consisted of bright pinkish. I'm sorry, I did not do a trigger warning. Let me trigger warning. I'm so sorry about that. So sorry. Trigger warning. Brightest that had a brightish pinkish colored skin below the head of the member until approximately a quarter of the length down the shaft of the member. Several other pictures capturing this distinct pattern were observed on the phone. Further, as your affidavit was reviewing the pictures and videos, I was observing several different pieces of clothing to include patterned underwear, shirts, blankets, and sheets. Then there's a bunch of redacted. Based on the totality of the circumstances, your affiant has probable cause to believe Stephan committed a sexual battery and all of the things to Madeline. And this is just on the internet. Like, I can pull it up on Google and download it. So I'm sorry it told all that. I didn't think it was. I should have looked at it first. This is his actual warrant. That's an older picture of him, I'm guessing. That's not the new one. So this is some other time when he's got in trouble, or his DMV photo. So Kissimmee Police Department, it gives his information. To all singular sheriffs of the state of Florida, special agents of the State Department of Law Enforcement, any investigator of the several states' attorney's office, and or any police officer of the Kissimmee Police Department. The affidavit or sworn compliant having on this day been presented to me, the Honorable Judge in and for Osceola County, 9th Judicial Circuit, wherein it is alleged that on or between March 20th, 2022 to December 3rd, 2023, and present in Osceola County, Florida, the defendant Stephan Michael Stearns did, in violation of Florida statutes, commit the offense, sexual battery of a minor or child, possession of material of sexual performance by a child. Therefore, you are hereby commanded to arrest and instainer the said defendant if he or she be found with your jurisdiction, and bring him or her before the proper court to be dealt with according to the law. And that's his arrest affidavit. Okay. Hold on a minute. I'm still trying to find this article. I think it actually might be this one. So let me pull this up. Alrighty. So, this is from Fox 35 Orlando. Stephan Stearns faces 60 new charges in Madeline Soto disappearance. Death case, police say. We'll watch him be walked out and arrested in front of the press. Look how embarrassed this sick monster is. There might be a commercial, sir. We have to give it just a second to load. Hold on a minute.
We start with breaking news right now in that case. This man is facing 60 new charges tonight. Stephans has been in jail for almost 2 weeks now, accused of sexually battering 13-year-old Maddie Soto. Thanks for joining us tonight. I'm Marlisa Goldsmith.
And I'm John Brown. We just got some new documents moments ago detailing the alleged abuse started when Maddie was just 8 years old. Fox 35's Randy Hildreth is live from the state attorney's office in Orlando with that story. So, Randy, these new documents say the abuse started in June of 2019 and lasted really all the way through last month.
Yeah, good evening to you both. Those documents coming in within the last 30 minutes. I've been going through them to get the latest information, much of it too graphic to share on TV, but I can tell you it gives a much clearer timeline of the alleged abuse.
The charges are stacking up against Stephans. He was originally being held with no bond in the Osceola County Jail on 3 sex crime charges. Stern now faces 60 new charges, including 13 counts of sexual battery on a child, 7 counts of molestation, and 40 counts of unlawful possession of material depicting sexual performance by a child. Investigators say pictures and videos were found on Stern's phone during the search for 13-year-old Maddie Soto in late February. Stearns was the boyfriend of Maddie's mom. According to new court documents, Stearns may have abused Maddie since June 2019, when Maddie was just 8 years old. One charge that hasn't been filed: murder.
That's what I was looking for. I knew that it had been said she was 8 years old when all of this started. Like, can you imagine that? An 8-year-old baby going through these things. And I'm going to give you another trigger warning because I'm about to get graphic. I don't know, being adults, like, evidently he was doing, going in the back door. Okay. Like, I don't know if that hurts. It hurts. I'm sorry. If you find pleasure in doing that with your significant other, more power to you. That hurts. And I couldn't imagine a child having to go through that. Like, it's awful.
We're approaching 2 weeks since Maddie's remains were found in a wooded area in Osceola County. Law enforcement maintain that Stearns is still their primary suspect in her disappearance. Kissimmee police are the lead investigators in this case. In a statement released today, the department said, quote, "With this being a complex case with many facets, our work is not done, and we are continuing our investigation into the timeline leading up to Madeline's death."
Now, Stearns is expected in court next month. If convicted, he could face life in prison.
Now, Randy, before this news came out today, you ran into the Osceola County Sheriff at an event and asked him about the picture of Maddie's body that he's accused of accidentally posting to social media. So how did he respond to that?
This has to do with a police officer, I think it was on Instagram, accidentally posted a picture of Madeline and her body and how she was found. And it was immediately removed, but it almost jeopardized the whole entire case, which would have been horrible.
Well, during that conversation, he said that he could not comment further and said that, quote, "They've clarified all of that," and then walked away. I did reach out to the state to get an update about this investigation. I'm still waiting to hear back. But of course, as soon as we get an update, we will pass that along. Marlisa.
So that was that. I wanted to make sure I wasn't muted. I'll read through the bottom of this. I think it shows the paper, if I'm not mistaken, and then that's going to have to be it for me today. So it says, Osceola County, Florida. The state's office on Tuesday filed 60 new criminal charges against Stephans, the prime suspect in the disappearance and death of Madeline Soto, a 13-year-old girl whose body was found in Osceola County after she was thought to be missing for a week. Stearns has not yet been charged for Soto's death as of Tuesday. Stearns, who is the boyfriend of Madeline's mother, Jennifer Soto, has been charged with 8 counts of sexual battery of a child under 12, 5 counts of sexual battery of a child aged 12 to 18. So there was 8 different times that he committed sexual battery on Madeline when she was under the age of 12 that we know of. Like, that's 8 different counts, 8 different videos, 8 different images of sexual battery. And this is before they got the hard drive. Okay, so this is from the 1,700 images and videos they had. There's 5 counts of sexual battery charged with a child aged 12 to 18. So there's 5 different instances that he committed sexual battery between the ages of 12 and then she had just had her 13th birthday. There's 7 counts of lewd and lascivious molestation. So that means there's 7 different instances where he committed lewd and lascivious molestation. And there's 40 counts of unlawful possession of materials depicting sexual performance by a child, 10 or more images. Okay. So there's 40 different times that they found 10 or more images of materials depicting sexual performance by a child. So there is 40 different times that he did this to her that produced 10 or more images each time. Okay. So that's like 400 images. At least. It says the 36-page affidavit obtained by Fox 35 details all 60 counts of what Stearns is accused of. But Fox 35 is choosing not to release the details listed in the affidavit due to their graphic nature. Oh, I'm sorry. I didn't know that that was playing in the background. Hold on. Let me try to pause it.
And officials tell us that one security guard was stabbed or cut with some type of weapon, but we do know that he's in.
Okay. Sorry about that. Let's continue reading. The document does not name a victim, but does include a date range of how long Stearns has allegedly been in possession of graphic materials or when the alleged abuse started. June 19th, 2019. So that's where they found the first image. The picture was taken on June 19th of 2019. Now, somebody, and when this case first came out, brought up the fact that is that just his first phone? But if all his images were going to the Google account, like the Google Gmail address, then even if he switched phones between then, it would be on there. But if he had a different Gmail account before he met Jennifer that was under a different name, then there could be several accounts out there with his pictures on it. Because like when you take pictures on your phone, it'll store it to your Google account and you'll have it on like the Google Cloud. Like my phone brings up pictures of the kids when they were like babies and things. That's how it does that. And I've had, Lord, I couldn't even tell you how many different phones I've had since the kids were babies. Continuing on, that range tops out on February 26, 2024, the day Madeline was last seen. A previous affidavit from the Kissimmee Police Department said that Stearns performed a factory reset on his phone that day. While it remains unclear who the victim or victims are, if one of them is Madeline Soto, she would have been 8 years old when the alleged crime began. The affidavit says Stearns was in a position of familiar or custodial authority when he allegedly committed some of these sexual batteries. We do know now that it was Madeline, and that's another thing that really bothers me. He was in a position of familial or custodial authority when he committed some of the sexual batteries. So she's looking at him like a father or a guiding figure, a wise stepfather to guide her through life, and he's doing these. I'm going to read a little bit more and then stop. So it says it remains unclear exactly how many images Stearns was allegedly in possession of, but each count says he was in possession of 10 or more images. That means he could have been in possession of at least 400 images of any form of child pornography. And that's going to be different times, like she's wearing different clothes. There's a different background or something like that, right? According to the affidavit, the content of at least one image contains one or more of the following. A child who is younger than the age of 5. Oh, I forgot that. So this is going to be important. A child who is younger than the age of 5, sadomasochistic abuse involving a child, sexual battery involving a child, sexual bestiality involving a child, or any movie involving a child, regardless of length and regardless of whether the movie contains sound. So, that right there that I've highlighted is going to tell us that more than likely he was trading child pornography with other people online. What my wonderful mod here, Jen, called out earlier when we were reviewing in the beginning of this stream, what his parents were saying about him taking the hard drive off. This what I have highlighted right here proves that he was trading images, because we know that Maddie was not 5, younger than the age of 5 when he met her. I don't think he did. We don't know, like, it hasn't been stated that he was doing sadomasochistic abuse, bestiality, or anything like that to her. We know that there was sexual or also sexual battery. Sorry, we don't know that that was going on. We know that he was molesting her and he raped her and things like that. But these are different charges. And a child who's younger than the age of 5 is what lets us know that it wasn't Madeline. So I really think that this is going to reiterate the fact that he was using that hard drive at his house to trade images and videos. Jenny said, what if some of the pictures were transferred to that flash drive? I think so. And I wonder, his parents talking about having to look at that flash drive or whatever. I think they said they didn't see anything, but I certainly hope not. That would be so hard as a parent to see your child having things like that. It says Stearns will be arraigned on the charges on April 2nd, according to the state's attorney office. Sexual battery on a child under 12 is a capital felony and punishable by life in prison or death if convicted. His other charges carry sentences up to life in prison or 15 years in prison for each count. He remains in custody. That's his picture again. We can watch this real quick. They're saying they're confident she's dead, but this is where they haven't found the body.
Your dedicated Centos service reps help make sure.
After this, I really got to go. I'm trying to stay on with you guys as much as I can.
So thank you for being here. We have some important developments in this case that we want to share with our community. I wish we were here to tell you that we have found Madeline, but we have not found her. Last night, detectives from the Kissimmee Police Department met with Madeline's mother, and they had to tell her the very devastating news that although we have not found Madeline, we are now confident that she is dead. So our efforts will be focused on recovering Madeline. Dozens and dozens of detectives, crime analysts, and specialized team members have been working nonstop and following up on every single lead and every shred of evidence. Our detectives have determined that Madeline was never dropped off on the morning of February 26th near her school. Instead, we believe she was already dead at the time and that Stephans Stearns moved her body in the early morning hours on that day. We have video evidence that shows Stephans Stearns discarding items in a dumpster in that apartment complex in Kissimmee at 7:35 on Monday, February 26th. Detectives later recovered Madeline's backpack and her school-issued laptop from that dumpster. At 8:19, we have evidence that shows Stephans Stearns returning to the complex, and Madeline was visible in that vehicle. We believe she was already dead at that time. As a result of that, although the initial missing persons investigation started in Orange County, The Kissimmee Police Department will now be taking over the investigation and will become the lead agency. And of course, the Orange County Sheriff's Office, all of our support personnel will be available and will still be assisting in this investigation. So at this time, I'm going to turn it over to Chief.
Thank you for being here. As Sheriff Mina said, this is still an active and ongoing investigation, and there is a lot of additional information that we cannot release at this time. I do want to note that Stephans Stearns was transported from the Orange County Jail to the Osceola County Jail, where he is being held on capital sexual battery charges filed by the Kissimmee Police detectives. Right now, our top priority is recovering Madeline. We are still to our community for its help in this case. Please share this crime line bulletin on my right of Stephen Stearns. He was last seen driving a silver 2010 Lincoln MKZ. The Florida tag is IYLL82. On Monday, February 26th, between 1 and 2:30 p.m. in the area of State Road 192 and Old Hickory Tree Road, as well as Road. During this time frame, it is believed that Stearns had a flat tire and might have been seen changing the tire in this area. If anyone saw this vehicle or noticed anything suspicious, we're asking that they call Crime Line. We continue to work tirelessly with the Orange County Sheriff's Office, the Osceola County Sheriff's Office, and St. Cloud Police Departments to bring a resolution to this case and recover Maddie. Thank you.
Thanks, Chief. We'll take some questions, but just remember, we're still in the middle of this investigation. There's a lot of things that we cannot reveal. No, Stearns has not spoken to anyone. The video evidence that we have. So we're not going to go into those exact details, but we have video evidence that leads us to believe that she's already dead.
Oh, I remember that. And I'm assuming that it was the way she was in the car, like, because the police officers were saying, does she look like she's sleeping to you? Because that doesn't look like sleeping to me. So I'm thinking that's what the video evidence was that made them determine that she was deceased, even though they had not found her body yet. It's hard to hear the press asking the questions. I'm sorry.
Yeah, so it could be helpful to us if people saw something. And obviously, we're searching many different areas. But if someone saw something in that area, we want to know about it. What's that now? People searching areas, right? They've searched a bunch of different areas and they're going to continue to search. So I don't want to go into specifics on exactly where. I don't want to miss something. One more time. I'm sorry. So what I'll say is what I already said is that we believe he moved her body in those early morning hours, and all that is still under investigation. Yes, we're talking to the mother. Yes. So we're talking to the mother and all this.
So if it ended up that he did leave the hotel and went to, I mean, I don't know, like, the generalized location where her body was in reference to Northport. So if he did end up leaving the motel and then placing her body somewhere after that, when he like left for that time period from the motel where his dad was in one room and Jennifer was in the other, and then they realized he wasn't even there, that would mean that he drove, and I think they drove, yeah, they went in the same car. So that would mean that he had Jennifer in the same car with him as they drove to the hotel. And I think they talked to the police when they got there, and her body was in the trunk the whole time. I'll have to look and see if he had because if it's close to Northport, right, and they're asking why did he go to Northport or whatever, we're gonna know that he dropped her body then. But wait a minute. He had the flat tire already. So that would mean he had already done it, because that's why they were taking Jennifer's car to the hotel, because he had a flat tire and they were on a donut now, and you're not supposed to drive for long periods of time or fast on a donut. So never mind. He would have already placed her body where it was.
All this, there's, to my knowledge, she's not a suspect in this case right now.
Oh,
That's
that's
correct.
right.
So from the dumpster, we recovered her backpack and her school issued laptop.
See, my mod, she's on it. Girl, you need to get you a channel. I'll support you. You know more than I do at this point. Yeah, that's right. I had forgotten that the video evidence was of him putting her in the body, right? Because we remember the police pulled the video camera evidence from the motel, and it shows him taking her from the front seat and putting her in the trunk of the car. And that's more than likely the evidence that the video evidence they have that's claiming to show Madeline as being deceased. That's right. See, Jenny's a great mod. She's on top of it. Thank you, Jenny.
It's our belief that she was killed in Kissimmee and that he moved her body. And so that's why the Kissimmee Police Department is the lead investigators now. Yeah, that's all part of the investigation, so we haven't determined that yet. Yeah, so obviously detectives have spoken to her mother, and as you can imagine, the reaction that any parent would have.
I don't think her reaction was that any parent would have. I think parents would have a little bit more emotion normally.
That is correct. It is transitioned to a homicide investigation, and the Kissimmee Police Department will be the lead agency in that investigation. We're still investigating it.
The detectives are continuing the investigation, and as more evidence comes up, there may be more charges in the future. That's still all part of the investigation. I don't want to say right now.
So yes, we reviewed that footage. It was very grainy. We weren't able to determine that was her, but like I said, we know that she was never dropped off at school that morning. That's correct. Searches are continuing as we speak. And so, like I said, we have people who are working nonstop. And so every lead that comes in, every piece of evidence that we receive, we're going to follow up on that. And if that leads us to a new search area, we'll be out all weekend.
All right, so that's that. That was the first presser before they found her body. I will look and see if we've got the one after they found her body, but oh, this is his first court appearance. He waived his first court appearance.
Around the clock. Depend on us, the Fox 35 Storm Team. Wake up with me on Good Day Orlando. I'll prepare you for your day ahead. Join me weeknights on Fox 35. No, what's coming? From morning to night, depend on the Fox 35 Storm Team.
Oh, I guess it was the background of that one.
Now, with breaking news.
Just one day after the body of 13-year-old Maddie Soto was found, the prime suspect in her...
I'm Danielle Knox. We do indeed start with breaking news here at this 9:30 half-hour mark. So we want to get right out to Fox 35's Amanda.
Sorry about that. I knew there was something going on. I was like, that don't sound quite right to me. All right.
disappearance was a no-show in court today. Thanks for joining us at 5. I'm Manny Martinez. Stephans Stearns waived his first appearance before a judge this morning for the second time in just a span of a few days. He's now facing sexual battery and child pornography charges, but has not so far yet been charged in Maddie's death. Fox 35's Matt Trezza explains why more charges could be on the way.
Stephans Stearns was a no-show for his first appearance in Osceola County Court. His lawyer didn't even want the judge reading out the charges.
Stephans Stearns, or
Your Honor,
Stephans.
God.
Your Honor, this time I am going to waive Mr. Stearns' appearance. I'm also going to waive the reading of these charges. Mr. Stearns is aware of what he's been arrested for.
At the first appearance, Stearns faced charges including sexual battery and possession of material depicting sexual performance by a child. Stearns had voluntarily handed his phone to investigators who managed to recover photos and videos that they called disturbing. Investigators say he's also the prime suspect in Maddie Soto's disappearance. Search teams finally recovered Maddie's body Friday evening after an exhaustive search through the woods in Osceola County. The judge said Stearns would stay behind bars.
Understood, sir. You got 0 bond and 24 CF 632. Good luck to you.
Orange County deputies have turned over the case to Kissimmee police. Sheriff John Mina says they have proof Stearns tried to cover his tracks after Maddie's death.
We have video evidence that shows Stephans Stearns discarding items in a dumpster in that apartment complex in Kissimmee at 7:35 on Monday, February 26. Detectives later recovered Madeline's backpack and her school-issued laptop from that dumpster. At 8:19, we have evidence that shows Stephans Stearns returning to the complex, and Madeline was visible in that vehicle. We believe she was already dead at that time.
Former Orlando Police Chief Orlando Rolone says Stearns may have thought he could fool investigators.
This is a perfect example of someone who probably thought, I can get away with this. And unfortunately, everything is pointing at the fact that he has now been caught for the murder of this child.
Kissimmee police say at this time they aren't releasing any further updates on the case. In Kissimmee, Matt Trezza, Fox 35 News.
All right. That's not related. Oh, okay. Well, that was there. Let's roll on out of here. Okay, so that's going to be it for me today. Tomorrow, we will come back and we will review the next interrogation in line, if we're going in chronological order, which is going to be the video interrogation of Jennifer. So please consider stopping by so that you can check that out with us and hear what I have to say about it, and hear what my mod Jenny has to say about it through her comments. Consider liking and subscribing. I hope that you will. It's the only way and best way to help this channel out right now. And I greatly appreciate you doing that. If I can, the more people that can get this information and see the documents that I'm usually able to pull in the beginning and know the truth instead of misinformation, it's always good. So make sure to share this and get this video out there to people that, or anybody who you think might be interested. Again, please like and subscribe. And I thank you for being here. Thank you to my mod, Jenny. She is amazing, like the best mod ever. And I will schedule my live later today for tomorrow. But I know for certain we will be going over the video interrogation of Jennifer Soto that is on my channel already. But I will be adding commentary tomorrow by going over it with you guys. Thank you again for being here. If you're watching the replay, thank you for watching, and I will see y'all tomorrow. Have a good day, and I hope today is the best day you've ever had in your whole entire life. Thank you so much. Bye.